So today I have the privilege of discussing my absolute favorite tool for analyzing stocks and essentially predicting the moves of these assets. It has been incredibly resourceful. It has led to incredible due diligence on my end, and I just want to share this all with you guys. If you wanted to check out Unusual Whales, I'm going to be dropping it in the first link in the description. Make sure you guys use code Hootmoney at checkout, as it does in fact help out the channel. But without further ado, let's just get right into the tutorial. So first things first, I'm always dropping whale due diligence on Twitter. As you guys can see from this media, I'm posting whale flow here, whale flow here. So I'm pretty much talking about the whales all the time. And this just shows how much I use Unusual Whales software. I like them so much that I reached out to their team and I was like, hey, we got to partner up, because I'm using this thing every single day while trading these stocks. So drop me a follow on Twitter. It's at HootmoneyYT. And let's get into Unusual Whales. Right here we have the website. So it says right off the bat, hunt unusual market activity. Options, tooling, and alerts for the little guy. Find out about big movements as they happen and have the tools to act on them. So they have a bunch of different tools. They briefly explain them all right here. Unusual alerts, we'll go over that in a minute. The flow plus dark pools, essentially looking at the options buys and sells that come in on the stock, as well as the dark pool orders. So you can look at that. Breakdowns of news / research. So they have a decent amount of news. Congress plus unusual trades. So you can see what Congress is in fact trading. They've actually come out with a report where they talk about how a good majority of Congress has actually beat the S&P 500, and basically shows that Congress shouldn't be using insider information to trade stocks. Now, a big theme of Unusual Whales is seeking out potential insider trades. Insider trading is illegal, but with Unusual Whales, you kind of see that insider trading happens all the time, especially when you look and see the trades that happen before a big news announcement. And we're actually going to be giving an example of that in this video today. And then you can see the performance. You view whale analytics, option profit calculators, all historically, to make your own decisions. So you can see in the top all of the features right here. They even have some crypto features as well. It truly is an all-inclusive guide. It's essentially a mini Bloomberg terminal for retail, but it's like 1/40th of the price of a Bloomberg terminal. So it's very, very solid. All right, so I'm going to give a brief rundown of the tools, not go in depth on them yet, but we'll look more in depth on them in the future. The first one here is the flow, which shows all of the option trades. It has filters as well. These filters allow you to narrow down your search if you're looking for a particular bet. We can explain more strategies on this in the future. The next one here is the options profit calculator. So you can essentially look at any ticker symbol, look at any options trade, and you can look down here, look at some different strategies, for example, and you can formulate a profit loss. So we put in the SPY right here. I clicked 2 random options right here, and it shows the profit loss. You can change the date, so at any date and time, this is your new profit loss, and you can go up and down and see what exactly that is. So if you're going into an option trade, this can help you see your potential returns from that option trade. The next feature right here is the Congress. So I am the Senate. It actually gives the full 2021 Senate plus House report, which has actually picked up tons of attention on social media. The Pelosi active positions ETFs, which is pretty hilarious. She recently loaded up on Disney Leaps, CRM Leaps, so that's Salesforce, Roblox Leaps, and then Micron and Google. So she's very tech heavy. She's very risk on by playing these leaps, and she beats the market almost every single year, which is why they have this positions tracker. So that's pretty interesting there. Although I don't really use this part of the website as much as I would like to. You can look at the alerts here. They give options alerts. This is very, very useful for beginners. Now, I need to say this right now, is that the whale alerts, you shouldn't just look at them and see them as buy or sell signals, correct? Because this is algorithmically generated by the Unusual Whales bot, which detects unusual options activity within the entire stock market and then prints an alert here on the whale alert section. So they're not necessarily buy or sell alerts. They're more so ideas, and then you can go into this flow section to back up that idea and see if it's worth pursuing. So that is something that you need to know. These aren't buy or sell signals. In fact, sometimes you'll see a bullish signal right by a bearish signal for the exact same stock in a row. And that could potentially mean that there's just unusual options activity on both sides. And obviously, if they're going to say, oh, sell this stock, buy this stock, that's not a trade alert, right? So they're more so trading ideas. So don't use these as actual trade alerts, but use them as confirmation to your own analysis of the flow. That is how I recommend that you use this. Moving into the extra section, you can follow them on socials right here. There's a stock streamer unusual ETS. I don't use this too much. I've used the meme tracking before, which analyzes social media sentiment. I've used the crypto whales here, the NFTs. These are more so if you're into crypto. Like right now, we're seeing that there's more whale buys in crypto than whale sells. Just a few weeks ago, there was way more whale sells, which leads me to believe that Bitcoin right now could potentially be seeing a bottom because we saw similar activity in July from the whales. Here's the meme tracker. It's just screen social media for essentially what is being talked about. Here you guys can see it has a rising Reddit chatter. If we move down, they have Twitter furus that they track, pie charts of the mentions this week, Twitter sentiment. So they have basically a guide to trading social media. Is this the best trading strategy? Should you just make a trade because little Timmy on Stock Twits said that this stock is going to the moon? Probably not, but you can look at these stocks and then go back into the flow section. So we scroll back up here, go into that flow section and confirm that that stock has a bullish setup. So you don't have to just trust little Timmy on Stock Twits, even though he might be right, but a lot of times he might be wrong. And then also up here, they have a market blog where they essentially just chat about unusual options activity that they see. So today they saw unusual options activity in Micron. They also saw it in Futu last Friday, and Futu was up pretty significantly today. So that was a very good signal right there. They talk about a bunch of different stuff, congressional trading and COVID. It's essentially like a Bloomberg, right? But unusual whales style. So they just do a bunch of news and all of that. This is also something that I don't necessarily use too often, but I always check in on it about once a day. All right, so moving into the flow section on unusual whales, this is the most important section of the entire website. This can lead to having some great analysis as well as detecting unusual options activity yourself. Right now we have BBIG up here, so you just search in this left hand corner BBIG, it pulls up the BBIG chart. You can set your premium range. So right now I have $10,000 or more, so essentially this means that someone bought $10,000 worth of an option contract at a singular time or more. So you're only seeing right here in the premium section trades that are over $10,000 or more. This is typically what I use for stocks with around $1 billion to $5 billion in market cap to judge the sentiment from big money traders. When it gets into some higher market caps, such as the SPY, such as the FANG stocks, such as Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, etc., those big tech names, I do put a little bit more premium. And sometimes I end up doing a cap on premium because there will be some weird cross trades, some weird outlier trades that totally skew the flow, and I like to get rid of those as well. You can see right here, you can do the bid side or ask side. So the difference between the bid ask, you have to understand what a bid ask spread is. You'll see right here, it says 95 cents to $1.13, and then you'll see the spot. So the spot is what the whale transacted at. That's how much they actually paid for each contract that they purchased. So you can see right here that they bought about 96 contracts, that's the size, at $1.13. So if we're just looking at this trade alone, we do $1.13 for the contract. Now we multiply it times 100 because the contract is for 100 shares. Then we multiply it times 96, and that comes out to about 10,848. It shows up on Unusual Whales as 11,000 in premium. Now there's other trades that come in at the bid side. These typically are selling of call options, but not always. The bid side of the option flow for calls is usually bearish because if it brings down the value of the call option. If the value of a call option goes down, that is bearish, right? That means the stock is probably moving down. So right here for this trade, for example, the bid-ask spread was $2.26 to $2.46, and then the spot was $2.26. So essentially what this possibly could mean is that a whale stepped in. He saw that the bid-ask spread was $2.26. He wanted to get that immediate fill and sell his call options or her call options. Could be anyone, right? And they get that immediate fill by placing their order at the bid, because that's where someone is bidding on the call option already, and it gets filled for 14K of premium, a size of 60. Now another filter right here is the calls and puts. So understanding what a call and put option is pretty important if you're playing with Unusual Whales. You don't need to know what a call or put option is. Buying a call option is bullish, buying a put option is bearish, but selling a put option is bullish and selling a call option is bearish. Now this doesn't mean that selling a put is equal to buying a call in terms of how relevant it is to the underlying. I'd say buying a call is typically more bullish than selling a put. However, just understanding what a call and put is extremely important to your analysis here, and it's not something I'm really going to go into depth on this video, so do your own research in that regard. But even if you don't fully understand it and you don't want to actually play options yourself, Unusual Whales can still tip you in that right direction. And if you just want to get the basic understanding of sentiment from whales, I highly suggest you go with these filters right here: $10,000 premium or more, ask side only, calls and puts, and then you can just show the charts and it'll show how bullish it is. And this will give you essentially what is the sentiment from these whales who are buying these large amounts of option contracts. It also can tell you the time horizon for these bulls. So right now it's pretty bullish, so you can see what strike price they're going for. So they're going in the money here, which is generally a bit less risky than out of the money. However, there is this one big bet at $8 per share, which is an extremely high strike price for BBIG stock. But they also have the time horizon of these trades. So most of these trades are going to be completed before January 20th, 2023. As this is the furthest out expiration. It's also the expiration that most whales were going for. The close to expiration bets, such as February 4th that you're seeing right here, these could be seen as YOLOs. These are close to expiration, extremely risky bets on the stock that it's going to be moving within the next few days. This expires on Friday, right? We have 4 more days until this expiration. Extremely risky, much more risky than going for the 2023 option. Then they also have different filters right here, the emojis, so you can unclick and click different emojis that are in here. For example, BBIG is a shorted stock. If you don't want shorted stocks to come into your filters, you can filter them out in the emoji section, as well as any other emoji that you see in this corner right here. A lot of the times I'll filter out things like ETFs, indexes, stuff like that. Max days till expiration, I like to put it at a cap of 31 when I'm looking for earnings plays, or if I'm just looking for quick moves in general. 31 puts you a month out. Those are some of those more risky contracts. So if you want more risk, you want more of those quick moves instead of those long dated moves, you can lower that days to expiration right there. Strike price range, volume range, we don't have to really touch into that right now. I don't really use those too much. Sometimes I'll put today's trades only right here, or single leg if I want to filter out some multi-leg strategies. Multi-leg strategies are essentially when you are buying more than one contract at once. Sometimes I like to exclude those. You can do out of the money only. So out of the money is more of a risky strategy. So sometimes I'll be using a scanner that puts out of the money low premium. So I'll put the spot rate maybe like $1.50, $150. Out of the money, those are those YOLOs, right? And then you can also lower the days till expiration. You can do a bunch of different things with these filters to find different things. So I have this scanner called the Sniper Scanner, looking for those snipes. It has a minimum premium of 75,000, a max spot range of $1.42, so $142 for the options contract. Ask side only, straight buying of calls, buying of puts, 15 days till expiration, so only 2 weeks out. And we're just looking for out of the money, right? Out of the money. So these are essentially the big bets that are YOLOs. So these could be potential multi-bagger trades right here. So out of the money Netflix calls expiring on Friday, a potential multi-bagger. You always see a bunch of apples on this. People are always trying to buy those out of the money Apple contracts because Apple likes to go up, right? We saw a bunch of these trades today, and I always at least peep in on these. Now, they're not the most effective strategies to making consistent money, but if you want to go for those YOLO trades, the Sniper Scanner is where it's at. So other cool features of this flow tab right here, they have a live news flow. So if you like to trade the news, you can go into this, and then it has the ticker symbol as well as the news that comes with that stock. They have dark pool flow. So if you're looking at dark pool trades, you want to see dark pool trades. Each time there is a big dark pool trade, a significant dark pool trade, you can see it here in the dark pool flow. The hot chains and tickers, this is where I like to look. It essentially looks for option chains with lots of high volume. You can hide the index/ETF chains, and then you can find some more volatile stocks. Like, for example, right here is an interesting chain. Right off the top of my head, I'm seeing Tilray, a $4 put expiring 2/11 right there. So that has some interesting volume. And you can essentially just see stocks that have interesting volume. I mean, right here, Robinhood, another decently low market cap stock. It has decent amount of volume on that one. Lucid, BBIG, that was a ticker that we were just looking for. So it shows the hot chains of the day. Right down here, you can see trading halts. So if there's a trading halt throughout the day, it'll pop up right here. If you want more information on a specific ticker that you're looking at, you hover over the ticker symbol, you right click, open a new tab. It'll bring you to the historical flow. I really love this section, especially when we're dealing with gamma squeezes, because it can almost help you find a point where it's good to sell. So if we're actually looking at BBIG right here, and we move it to the daily candles, you guys can see that the call option volume that we're seeing here is very similar to the price action of the stock. And typically speaking, it has been a decent time to sell when there's call option spike ups. When everyone else is buying those call options, it has been a pretty decent time to sell. And it correlates almost perfectly with these spots right here on the chart, right? The higher call option volume tends to be where that stock ends up peaking out on its runs. All right, now that we've given an overview of the flow section, we're going to be using an example BBIG stock where I have used this flow to my advantage to make profitable trades. So here we have the BBIG chart showing tons of volatility, making moves from $2.16 all the way up to $5.99, all the way back down to $2.50, etc. Lots of volatile moves, and I believe this might be setting up for another volatile move very, very shortly. So how can the options flow help you predict a move from right here to right here? And it's actually pretty simple. So right here, if we're looking at January 12th, there was massive bets being placed at market open on BBIG stock. So if we move down right here to 112, this was around this candle wick right here from 9:30 to about noon. We saw a massive uptick in options, and this stock barely took off at this point, right? Barely. It was still at $2.50 at this point, being at a low of $2.17. It pales into comparison to where it was, going up all the way to $5.99. And if we look at the options flow for this day, there were massive premiums, 156,000, 108,000 that came in at market open on that day. At 9:39, it came in at 9:56. So not even 30 minutes until market open, these massive bets came in. So I went back through all of the option trades above 100,000 for BBIG. Looking back to October, this was the last time we actually saw a major call option being bought for BBIG stock. And if we look at the stock price going back all the way to October, it's been essentially only going down. Right back here on October 25th was the last time there was over $100,000 in premium for a call option being purchased on BBIG stock. The next biggest trade was right here on January 12th. So because I saw the biggest call option being purchased on BBIG stock from a while, it rang some bells in my head. I was like, oh wait, BBIG stock might run. The next few days, this stock goes on an absolute tear up to about $5.99. So that's one way to predict the price action of a stock using unusual whales. Now it can also help you understand when you sell the stock. So what you can do is go back here, find these massive bets for BBIG stock, and you just pay attention to the flow over the next few days. If they bought a $5 call expiring in April of 2022 or a $5 call expiring in July of 2022, you can look to see when this whale actually sells out of this trade, and you can use that to actually take profits yourself. And right here on January 18th, we actually found this $5 July 15th, 2022 lining up perfectly to that options contract that we discovered from January 12th. And it was $51,000 in premium, meaning that if that option buyer sold, they didn't sell all of their contracts, but it was enough for them to at least sell some of them. So although it's not confirmed that this was that whale that bought in before, there is a good chance because it was the same strike price and same expiration. We're also seeing right here a $5 call option for April 14th being sold. So that potentially could have been that other whale that we saw, which also had over $100,000 worth of premium. And then right here, we saw another one for this April 14th being sold. So at this point, this was on 10/18. Tons of those call options were actually being sold at this point. So if these whales are taking profits, right, there's no reason that you can't take profit as well. So this was my biggest indicator. Seeing those whales sold out was probably the easiest way for me to know that it might be a good time to sell. I ended up taking profits right here on 118. So I was able to get in real early because of that original whale that I noticed, right? I actually got in the day before. The whale actually kind of confirmed my own thesis here, but it did help me be able to sell, and it did help me add to my conviction that this stock was going to end up running like crazy. Another example of where I used unusual whales on BBIG stock to predict a market move was right here on January 25th. So this was just last week. As you guys can see, on January 25th, it went up throughout the day, but there was actually a bigger spike up in after hours. If we actually scroll back here, you guys can see after hours, about 5 p.m., the stock price soared up. There was actual news that hit on this stock, highly anticipated news for this stock that hit in the after hours, which forced it to go up. It went up about 12% in after hours after spiking up in the morning and going down greatly. Now, the difference between the flow on this day compared to the previous days was astronomical, right? This was an extremely bullish flow. It was about 94% bullish. This is basically tooting all horns that this stock is going to make a move. If we go back to January 24th, you guys can see it was not the same flow whatsoever. It was still 50-50 bullish, leaning towards bullish, but it's not 96% bullish, right? So seeing that there was a 96% bullish whale flow, people betting lots of money on this stock, you're able to make a move based on what the whales are doing. Buy in here. I actually bought in at $3.02. I bought shares, and I was able to sell it at market open the next day when I noticed that whales were likely dumping. So if we move back into 126 right here, we put on the bid side to see if whales are selling. There was tons of whales selling of call option pressure at market open, starting at 932 all the way up to about 953. All selling of call options right there, right? When the previous day there was tons of buying of call option, then at market open, lo and behold, this stock comes down after the whales sell. So I'm seeing a similar thing today in BBIG, January 31st. We'll see how well this ages, but there was a lot of call option volume on BBIG as of today. Very bullish. If we show the charts right here, about 89% bullish premium was spent on BBIG stock. Now, it's not as much premium as we were seeing in those previous rallies, those more volatile rallies that we saw right here and right here, but it still is a significant amount, and the stock is uptrending. So I am looking for some news coming in the upcoming days because, again, the the whale flow last time was able to predict bullish news coming out for the stock. All right, my friends, so there is your all-in-one tutorial on how to use unusual whales, as well as a case study of how I used it to find success in this ever so difficult stock market, especially the options market. Extra tricky there. I don't even necessarily use it because I want to trade options. I use it because I want to understand sentiment from people that are actually putting money in the stock. I always joke around with my live stream. There's always those people on chat rooms such as StockTwits, Reddit, saying that the stock is going up, giving a price target of this. I don't necessarily trust little Timmy on StockTwits saying that the stock is running to the moon because it has a funny name, right? I'd rather trust someone putting thousands and thousands of dollars into a risky asset predicting that the stock is going to make a drastic move, right? I'd rather listen to the big whales than little Timmy on StockTwits. And because of that, unusual whales is the perfect tool to be judging sentiment in the markets. I wouldn't use anything else. It doesn't even matter. I don't even trade options. If I do, it's a low amount of premium and it's just for fun. But it does help me predict these stock moves, and I have become a profitable trader because of unusual whales. So again, guys, this is the #1 tool that I think everyone should be using if you are a retail investor and learning very in depth, because there's nothing else that's going to even come close. You can do technical analysis all you want. Technical analysis is not the same as detecting actual insider trades. Almost. I don't want to make the claim saying that you find insider trading on unusual whales, but sometimes the proof is almost too good to leave unnoticed. And there have totally been points where I'm like, okay, yeah, you definitely did some insider trading here. Especially in the case with BBIG stock, where we saw an extremely bullish flow before news came out on the stock, before that news was public information. So again, I highly encourage that you learn this website if you are serious about trading, swing trading, day trading, any of that. This is going to help you out way more than any technical analysis can. It can help you predict the news before it even comes on the market, because people who have insider information might make a trade based off of that news that has yet to hit. And honestly, it has really just personally helped me succeed in this incredibly difficult world of investing and trading. So for that, I'm thankful for Unusual Whales. And if you guys wanted to check it out, remember that link is the first link in the description below. Make sure you guys use Hootmoney code Hootmoney at checkout. Anyways, that's about it, my friends. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace.